Welcome to episode 36 of the Career Breakthrough Series. I'm your host, Paul Ames, and if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe, rate and review my show to allow me to bring more incredible guests like Josh on the show for you to help you break through those barriers in your career. So if you're on iTunes, be sure to subscribe, rate and review, or if you're on YouTube checking us out, hit the subscribe button in the bottom right corner now. My incredible guest on the show today is Joshua T Berglan. So Joshua is the CEO of Live Mana Worldwide, which is based in San Diego, California. So Josh says he feels blessed to be connecting the best with the best around the world. He's originally from Oklahoma City, but has been helping medical professionals, celebrities, CEOs, business owners, brands, and even people with complex disabilities to reach and strive for their goals for over 22 years. Joshua's real specialization is in custom beauty and skincare products, branded cosmetics, skincare, and medical aesthetic devices, and also assisting any brand to get on TV and radio. Josh has such a wide variety of experience and knowledge, and he can also help with global distribution, business development, product launch, and rebranding. As successful as Joshua has been in his business, he told me that his true calling is to serve others, and a huge part of that is sharing his story. So Joshua has overcome years of sexual, physical, emotional and drug abuse that really should have ended his life. But by Joshua's perseverance and the grace of God, he has overcome these incredible feats and obstacles in his life, and now he shares his story, which, while horrifying, is meant to inspire and encourage others to seek help before it's too late. This is such a powerful interview, and at one point Joshua nearly had me in tears with his moving and powerful story. So let's get started on this interview, and let me know what you think. Thanks guys, I'll see you on the inside. I'm so excited to have Joshua on the show, and I'm so happy that my friend Andrea connected us. I'm really excited to share Joshua's story. So thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show, Josh. I really appreciate it.
Oh man, thank you so much. And yeah, big shout out to Andrea. She's amazing. Yeah,
she definitely is. Andrea was one of our previous guests as well. And she's such an awesome girl to talk to.
So, thank you very much for having me.
Anytime at all, man. So Josh, if you could just give my audience a bit of a background into basically who you are and what your upbringing was like for you growing up.
Oh, wow. So we're talking personal, not professional.
Oh yeah, well, just what your biggest influences are on your career, or what kind of headed you in that direction of where you currently are with your career?
So the short of it, I'll talk a little bit about the career, and just it does tie into my personal life, believe it or not. When I was young, my grandmother, my dad's mom, she was in a nursing home and was mistreated, and she ended up passing away, but that ignited a fire in my father, who really wanted to understand insurance law and disabled people. And, I was just a young punk kid. I was, 14 years old, but some of my earliest memories were going to nursing homes and changing out mattresses and helping people with wheelchairs.
Wow.
And so when I became 16, instead of working at a fast food restaurant or something like that, I actually started working in medical equipment.
Oh, wow.
Fitting disabled people for mobility products like power wheelchairs or those scooters you see on TV. And I was very, very passionate about that because, I was fighting for people. Yep. And it gave me a sense of purpose. And I really felt like I was doing something positive in the world, which was a dramatic flip from what my personal life was like. My personal life was a complete wreck, but yet I found refuge in fighting on behalf of people with complex disabilities like ALS and muscular dystrophy. And so I got out of that industry when a lot of the healthcare changes were happening in the United States. And around that time, I found out my father, he had melanoma they found multiple tumors in his brain. He was basically, these melanoma tumors had infested his body, and he was given a very short time to live. I had sold our healthcare company, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And around that time of him getting melanoma, I go, you know what? Maybe I should learn about my skin. But there's a lot of stories in between here, but let's phase to now. When I got into the contract manufacturing side of skincare, And I realized that people were paying $400 and $500 for products that cost about 50 cents to make.
Yeah.
I was offended by it because I spent my entire life was about providing a service. When you work with disabled people, what you provide them, it's about the appropriate outcome. It's not sales. It's not like, putting someone in a sales funnel. Of course, they didn't have sales funnels back then. But I mean, you're not doing marketing tricks and sales tactics. It's about providing a service.
Exactly.
That's all I am. I mean, I want to help people. Like I love that. And that doesn't really fit into the skincare world, but most people would think, because it's about sales.
Exactly.
I found a way to be a service in the industry, and that was basically being the truth, like representing and offering the true pros and cons of every product. And I wanted to have access to multiple skincare lines and beauty products. So instead of going to you and trying to convince you that, hey, you need to buy this because it's going to make you look 30 years younger and only know how to talk good about the product, no, screw that. I can honestly, I can ask you your budget. I can ask you, obviously I can look at your skin type and figure that out. But there's this list of questions that you ask, and then budget's incorporated too. And it allows me to be honest to say, hey, you really you don't really need all that. You could use this instead. That's going to save you, hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
I really love doing that. I thought I was going to make a lot of enemies in the industry, but I really didn't. I mean, people hire me because I'm going to tell them the truth. And look, if it's out of my pay grade, I'm going to admit it because I'm not going to take on anything I can't do. So I really love doing what I do. And when I moved out to LA, what an adventure that was. Yeah. I moved to LA on accident, and brain farted just a second. Oh man, I tried to tie this in. I just brain farted. Anyway, it honestly, it doesn't matter. But I know what it was. When I got out to LA, I had the privilege and the blessing to be able to do like celebrity events, like the Grammys, the Emmys, the ESPYs.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
The daytime Emmys, which the daytime celebrities are the coolest. Like out of all of them, they're my favorite because they don't take themselves too serious, and they're just amazing people. But when I got out to LA, I go, wait a second, I can do anything I want here. Because when you think about celebrity, you think it's not just skincare. You're doing makeup, you're doing hair, you're doing entertainment, you're doing television, you're doing media. So then I realized, oh my gosh, I can do anything I want. And then I started going to high profile events and like major A-list events where they were more specialized, where you're paying $10,000 a plate to go there.
Ooh, wow.
I got to go to some of those events. But what I learned was, oh my gosh, these people all fly private jets and yachts and all of that stuff. I'm like, I need to find a company to work with that I can broker private jets too.
Yeah.
So my company, Live Mono Worldwide, is a lifestyle concierge company that the whole thing is based on service, just helping people. That's it. But believe it or not, as funable as all of that stuff is, that's not what my purpose is. That's not what I want. That's not what I want to do with my life. Like, it's fun. It keeps a roof over my head.
Definitely.
But it allows me to live in San Diego. But my purpose is to share my story from stage. Like, absolutely, 100%. God spared my life for a reason.
Exactly. Wow, that's amazing, Josh. I really appreciate you sharing that, and I think it's a testament to your incredible nature and your personality. I mean, not many kids, as you said, are able to help people with disabilities or be involved in that at such a young age. And to be able to, instill that into your life and your personality, I think that's such an incredible trait to bring forward, to be able to help people and give back with not expecting anything back in return. And especially like you said with the skincare industry. I mean, my wife's been a beauty therapist for 11 years and does her own wedding makeup and events makeup. And yeah, I completely understand and agree with you about, it's all sales. It's all trying to push it. They don't really focus on what people really need or really want. It's just kind of like, yeah, this would suit you. So yeah, I completely agree. But
man.
It's so true. So thanks for sharing that, Josh. So I'd love to find out a bit more about your business. I know you've touched on it just then, but I'd love to find out, how you're so incredible at connecting people and finding the best of the best worldwide.
Well, okay, so I kind of touched on service, and I really do I lead with service over success.
Yeah.
Over that, I don't know, to be honest, I don't know where I got it, but it's always been very natural. So when I was a kid, I was about 7 years old, my parents started dropping me off at the country club, and just to play golf. And all of the people at the country club, so the wait staff, the greenskeepers, the pros, the members, all of this variety of people, and even kids, they pretty much were my babysitter all day. And I don't know if it's there where I learned how things tie together. I don't really know. I don't know if it's my dyslexia, but for some reason, maybe it's just that sincere desire to want to help people get what they want. So if I know somebody that, for instance, there's this really amazing event that it's called Servex. That's the money is going towards helping orphans.
Oh, brilliant!
If I know somebody that can empower that or bring extra money, or if I have a guy that's willing to donate money and he loves to invest in things like that, I think it's a service to go, oh, I know that person.
Yeah.
But this happens naturally. I just happen to know people because when I meet, if I met you on the street, I don't care if we've never met, never seen each other. I don't care. I'm going to start talking to you and asking you questions. I live in downtown San Diego now, and it's like a dream for me because I literally can walk down the street and talk to 15 different people that have no idea who I am.
That's so cool.
But I learn about people, and I've done that since I was a kid. There's my friends, I hope that they end up listening to this, that I went to college with in Hawaii. They will tell this funny story about one night after it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're walking through downtown Honolulu, and I see this homeless person, and for some reason I feel led to talk to him. I ended up talking to that homeless person for over an hour, and they ended up leaving me.
Oh, wow.
That's what I just love people. It's just this I don't know where it comes from, but I've been like that since I was a kid. It wasn't until I moved to LA that I realized, oh my God, I could do this for a living.
Yeah, exactly.
And my focus can be, hey, I'll just make sure both sides of the deal win and no one gets screwed, and I'll take a fee. Right?
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's the happiest life because I can do whatever the heck I want.
Yeah, that's so awesome, and I can completely relate to the connecting with people and building rapport. I'm the same. I think for so long with me, I was kind of pushed down and not led to believe. I was the person that I am. I was, told I was stupid most of my life, and not really instilled much confidence. And I think as a result, that kind of kept me in this little shell, and it took me doing my diploma of counseling to really help me bust out of my shell and realize who I was. And, I love talking to people. I love connecting. And I think that's why my show's going really well, because I'm the same as you. I'll talk to anyone. Status, finance doesn't mean a thing to me at all. I was brought up to, treat everyone the same. So I think, that's really helped. I can relate to you. Yeah, it's so true.
Two things there. And I noticed that because I listened to your show, and it's it's all over the place. I'm like, oh, this guy's perfect for me to talk to. But also, when I was mentioning growing up to the country club, that was something that I give my parents a lot of credit, especially my mom.
Yeah.
They installed in me to treat everybody with respect. It didn't matter what color you were, what race you are, what religion, none of that mattered. I treat you as I want to be treated.
Exactly.
I mean, it's no coincidence that my family they're people of faith, as I am. But it's so true. I mean, why judge? And for that matter, half the time people get it wrong anyway. They make assumptions on people that it's not reality. We perceive that there's that someone's going to be bad, or that they're going to be rude, or they're going to be snobby. That's the furthest thing from the truth. A prime example of that are celebrities. People assume that they're all snotty. Not the case. Or people assume that people that are billionaires are only all about money.
I agree with you. Yeah, it's so true. So many people will make assumptions just based on their own thoughts or what others have told them or influences. So, yeah, it's so true. I've noticed exactly the same, Josh, where, speaking to these millionaires or, people, who created an amazing life for themselves, a lot of people tend to think, oh, no, they won't give you the time of day. And it's like, well, they do. People love sharing their story and talking about their life and themselves.
Absolutely.
So Josh, I'd love to find out a little bit more about the medical and aesthetic side of things as well. And, how you approached a lot of these organizations. Like, I know that, like you said before, we touched on where you were saying you brokerage a lot of deals. You're like kind of the middleman to ensure that nobody gets screwed.
Right.
So how did you approach a lot of these like private jet organizations? Or I had a look on your website. I saw there's the amazing cars and different things on there as well. So how did you build these relationships with all these people?
You know what? Facebook has been a really good tool for me because you can search out people. So I, fortunately, because of the network that I'd already had established, finding the private jet company, it was actually the company that I worked with was AC Empire out of the UK.
Oh,
because Live Mana Worldwide is about being global. Like Live Mana is like live powerfully, right?
Yeah.
That's the Polynesian word for power. And so it had to be a global company. I didn't want somebody just in the United States. I wanted to cover the world. I did a lot of research and found AC Empire, and they have 164 countries that they work in. And I was like, okay, that's perfect. So I found the owner of the company and just struck up a conversation with him, and I pitched him a proposal. And that's how I kind of became the U.S. ambassador for them. Nice. I call it the U.S. ambassador. Basically, I represent them in the United States and help facilitate when they, need a deal. So it really was just picking up the phone and calling, utilizing the relationship. I do have to give credit. Look, my website and blog is like that's self-taught, and why. And I'm very proud of my website, very proud of my blog and everything in there because it was my dream to write as a kid, but battled dyslexia and had some other issues, and it was a real struggle. So to sit down and be able to write, it really means a lot. I noticed the importance of learning to brand myself online, and I didn't really have the budget. I just got done being homeless, for goodness sake. I mean, like I didn't have the budget to go out and pay for someone to promote me. I had to teach myself how to do it. So I dove down the rabbit hole with a lot of these online softwares you see on Facebook that are just upselling it, upsell. I want to punch half those guys in the throat because it's a con job. Just give me what I need in one package and shut up.
Exactly.
Just give it to me at one time. Yeah. So I got really lucky and found this website where they kind of teach you at your own pace. And I had a lot of success with it. And even though my website's not perfect, I still learned, and I'm proud of it because it's something that I never in my wildest dreams thought I was going to be able to do. But I did it, and I'm proud of that. And it's also given me the courage to want to start to share my soul and do what I felt led to do. It's given me that platform. So my blog, and this is crazy, but my blog has really worked for me, even though it's not seen by millions and millions of people. It's gotten me business, and I did it myself without ever paying for an ad. That means a lot to me. And the other thing is, it's also allowed me to say, you know what? I know talking about being sexually abused or being physically abused and emotionally abused, and then my own issues with drugs and my own issues with just being a train wreck. Talking about that and tying that into my professional life, there's no employer in the world that would allow that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I've suffered a lot of consequences for doing that. I've lost business for doing that, but I don't care because I want to be me. I love what I do professionally. I love what I'm called to do. To me, I'm sorry, but it all ties in. I'm not smart enough to keep it separated. It's just easier if I'm authentic and just speak from here. So if I'm talking to you about skincare and then tell you about how after 6 times being in jail, I finally realized that I can't do this alone. I'm not strong enough to be the man I need to be, and that's when I gave my life to Christ. and I didn't even know. I've had so many battles in my life. I felt like God spared my life for a reason, and I just wasn't going to waste an opportunity. So if I felt led to say something, I'm going to say it and not apologize for it. I've never apologized for anything anyway. Anything that comes out of my mouth now is far better than what would have came out of my mouth a year and a half ago or the previous 30 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why that matters to me. That's why I'm doing it. And again, I lose business. People are afraid to work with me because they don't want, for some people, it makes them uncomfortable. But there's other brands, the brands that pay me to talk about them, that are proud of what I've done. And guess what? It's some of you wouldn't even think that they would be the companies that would stand behind me, but they are. Wow. And that is amazing to me.
Wow. You just
went off on a rant.
Wow, man. No, you just blown me away. That's incredible, Josh. I'm so glad I've got to talk to you and share your message, man. It's absolutely incredible. And I can relate to you in so many different areas. I feel exactly the same in just everything you've gone through. I can really relate to, quite a troubled upbringing, and probably going to head into jail myself, like the way I was heading. Just hung around with the wrong people, got into some of the wrong stuff. It's really funny. For me, as I said, that was the biggest thing, having no career direction, hence why I started my business. So, I'm kind of blown away. I just think it's, amazing what you've just shared. And for everybody, you should go back and have a listen to that. I think it's a testament to showing what the power of, persistence and really finding who you are as a person and embracing that, being your genuine self. That's one of the biggest key points I wanted to take away from that. I think that's absolutely crucial, man.
Can I add something really quick? It's super important.
Definitely.
I don't get this. This is the most important message I can say the entire interview. It is my mission to speak out about the things that I went through, not for glorification or to glamorize any of the crap or to celebrate the fact that I'm alive. No. I'm lucky to be alive. I shouldn't be alive. I want my message to be heard by young people. I want kids to know that what's happening to them is not right, and they need to have a voice. They need to speak out because they don't have to go through the hell. Because here's the thing, all of that anger and the confusion and the hurt and the brokenness that they feel, if they don't seek help and they don't have a voice, that stuff will turn to poison and it will destroy you. And then you're going to become the person that's hurting you.
Exactly.
And that's a fact. You can't avoid it. So you got to get help. And the second thing, if you are an abuser, if you are the one that's abusing, you have time to get help too. Make amends before you die. My father died with staging his own funeral to make it look like he lived this glorious life. My dad was a rock star. He lived a badass life. But here's the problem. He was also a piece of crap. And he hurt a lot of people, including his kids. He didn't make amends when he died. So regardless of how much, God, the Lord has filled my heart in places that have never been filled before, as much as that's true, it doesn't mean the hurt doesn't go away. Yeah. I still feel the void of him not making things right. So those two things are the most important thing I can stress, because you can get help, you can change, and you just have to want to, because you don't want to leave the trail of destruction that I've left. And not everyone gets their life spared.
No. Wow.
I'm just blessed to be here, honestly.
That's powerful advice. Definitely go back and have a listen to that. Yeah, it's really moving to hear that. I think that's really incredible. So guys, strongly suggest you go back and everyone should listen to that. That's incredible. So Josh, I'd love to find out, obviously you've been through a lot of really tough obstacles and roadblocks in your life, but what do you think would be some of the toughest mental roadblocks you've had to overcome, and how do you think you successfully overcome them?
Well, so labels are a really bad thing. So I tried to make changes. I blogged about this, and this was one of my favorite blogs I've written. It was The Lies of Labels. Oh. And hearing the words, like the label, "You'll never change," the label, "You're a failure," "You're an addict," "You're a fill in the blank." Every time I would try to get back on the right track, something would go wrong, or the person that I had hurt, like my ex, one of the two ex-wives I have, hurt them, right? So they're still hurt. Yet I'm changed and I'm different now. That doesn't mean their hurt went away.
Definitely.
And I failed to realize that, but the hurt was still there. So then they would lash out at me and say things to me. And I would like, "I'm not that way anymore. I'm not that way anymore." And then all of a sudden I'm that way again. Because I believed the lies of those labels. I made those lies true. So shedding the labels have been a huge thing, but the most powerful thing ever, and I'll spare the story, but I will just keep it simple and say this. Forgiveness was the most powerful thing that I've ever done in my life. Having to say, "Dad, I forgive you." Yeah. The same way to the people that molested me. I forgive you. And let that go. Because you cannot possibly love yourself and be whole if you're holding that anger and resentment towards somebody. And the other part too, you got to forgive yourself. You made like forgiving myself was the hardest thing. Like I thought in my narcissistic tendencies that forgiving myself would be the easiest part. Honestly, no. Like I still have flashes of, the wrongs I've done, and those things will happen for, with people that it's the devil, it's whatever, you can, whatever you want to call it, but those flashes of like, they're almost like teasers, like, "Oh, go back to this life," or "Do you remember when you did this? You're nobody." You can't listen to the lies that your own freaking brain tells you.
No.
Like I haven't been able to shed my dark passenger. I can pray all I want. One of the things that happens when I feel that attack coming on, I say, "Cancel, cancel, cancel." And I'll even say it out loud if I have to, and I don't care who's around, because honestly, I'd rather deal with that embarrassment than deal with the hell that's wrecking on my brain,
Definitely.
So forgiveness is the ultimate. And then don't believe the lies of the labels.
Yeah, wow, I love that. I'm definitely going to check out your blog or your article. That sounds incredible. It's a similar thing. Obviously, what I do with coaching is like a lot of people have these automatic thoughts. I think that's a big thing I've learned is like people get these thoughts in their head, but they don't challenge, and they don't, they just accept that as gospel. That's the only thing that they should listen to in their life. When you need to challenge these thoughts, you can't just, like you said with your dark passenger, like by challenging that and pushing that aside and saying cancel, that's your way of helping to keep that subsided or trying to help you manage that. So I think that's amazing. I love how you worded that, Josh. I think that's incredible.
Thanks.
So Josh, I'd also love to find out, what are some of the highlights of your business? What are some of the most incredible things that you've achieved in your business or been able to do this in your career, as you said, having worked with these incredible people and being able to add so much service to the lives of so many people worldwide? What would be the biggest highlights for you?
The most exciting thing ever is connecting. One of the brands I work with is two younger kids invented this bag that it's a duffel bag that unzips to become a garment bag.
Oh, wow.
And it's amazing when you don't want to pay baggage fees, right?
Yeah.
They're just two young kids. I mean, to me, they feel like kids, but they're in their 20s. They're old enough to drink, but I mean, they're kids getting older now.
Yeah.
And they have this dream, and they put all of the money that they had saved into this brand, and they have this amazing invention, and like they're going to school and working a full job and running this business.
Wow. Like
helping them get their first global distribution deal was something that meant a lot to me because I really cared about them.
Yeah.
I like taking, one of my favorite things to do is to partner, smaller companies together to take on the big guys. The big companies don't need me. They have $500 million marketing budgets.
Yeah, exactly.
But for these smaller companies, and the small business has got, look, I want every small business to be a giant. But that's what I come from. That's my root. So I'm really passionate about watching them exceed their goals. So typically, like when people hire me or they ask me to come on, it's for a very specific thing. Like I know my weaknesses, and that's why I have a team around me. But my strengths are what they are.
Yeah.
So being able to like put two people together or come up with an innovative way to promote the product to help them exceed their goals, getting their product to HSN or QVC, those kind of things to me mean a lot. Like that's because it's helping somebody else's dream come true. Look, I'm a charismatic, outspoken guy. I get enough attention. Honestly, I thank God that I'm more driven to help other people and get more excited about that than my own stuff, because I would be, oh my gosh. I think I wouldn't be able to handle myself if it was all about me. Like I really believe in my ideas, and I'm very confident in my abilities. So don't get that twisted. I mean, but making it about me where it's all about me. I can't, that would create something I don't really want any part of. So my drive and passion comes to helping a lot of the people. I mean, I've been a part of a lot of really fun projects and done a lot of those things, but honestly, for me, it's just watching people's dreams come true.
Yeah.
I'm very driven to do that.
Wow.
Or help with that.
Yeah. Oh man, I can completely relate to that as well. It's so true. Like I found that from doing the podcast, I started my podcast not for any reason apart from offering help and guidance to be able to help people in their career, and hoping that some of the incredible guests like yourself can really provide some amazing advice, which you definitely are. But also being able to do the same thing is to be able to connect my guests with each other when I can see an opportunity or something that they could be able to help each other. Like I helped two of my guests on here. They've helped to go on and create a music video in LA and do some amazing work together. So, and it lights me up inside to be able to know like the same thing as what you said, to be able to help somebody achieve their dreams or help them push forward towards their goals. It's the best feeling ever.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Josh, I'd love to find out. So obviously all of us have got a really positive trait or positive habit that's really helped us achieve our success in our life. But we've also got a hindering habit or trait. What do you think would be your most positive trait that's helped you, and what would be your most hindering?
My morning routine is the staple to my sanity, my peace, my joy, my understanding, and my being able to get it through the day. Like that above everything. So it's my quiet time. I mean, I write, I read devotionals, I read the Bible, I pray, and then sometimes I write more. It just depends on what I'm feeling at that moment. But that sets the table for me to do things right. Yeah. And because look, I'm going to have the energy no matter what. It's either going to go to good or it's going to go to bad.
Yeah.
And I'm choosing to put it good. So the start of that, to stay the course that I'm on, and have been for a year and a half, it starts there. I suffer with, just to get it out of the way, I'm bipolar. I have PTSD. I have ADHD, and I'm dyslexic.
Yep.
All things I used to have medication for. Imagine. But thank God for CBD. Thank God for it, because now I don't take any medication.
Wow, that's
But I can waste some time battling with my own brain sometimes. Insecurities.
Yeah.
And I battle with some of the thoughts, like the self. Well, what we talked about, the labels. Like sometimes I want to give myself labels. Sometimes, like I get attached to outcomes, and I really worked hard about that. And I also, because I take people at their word. Like if you tell me that we're going to do something and you tell me to expect this, then I tend to hang on to that too long. And I'm doing better at being able to dismiss it and just go, hey, it's not meant to be, move on down the road.
Yep.
But there's a balance between not being attached to the outcome and then being dismissive of the outcome. Like having that I don't give a crap attitude. Because I want to care.
Yeah.
I want to be hurt when something doesn't go the way I'm told it's going to go. I mean, being a broker, doing what I do, I'm the last one to get paid. I get screwed out of money all the time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it's just because we're the last ones. But at the same time, it's what I feel called to do. So that's what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? So, but I would say being attached to outcomes, and I have to battle my own head. I mean, even though CBD has been a tremendous help for me, it doesn't mean that I don't have down days. We all do. So every one of us, especially people that are willing to take risks. Yeah. And what I feel led to do requires a significant amount of risk and a significant amount of it requires the threshold of willing to be able to fail a lot.
Yep.
And fail my way forward. Never fail and have it be a setback. Every failure, there's an opportunity there.
So true.
Every major deal I've ever done, every major deal, every triumph, everything that I'm most proud of is spawned from failure. Every time.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure that I'm always failing forward. I kind of twisted I danced around your question a little bit.
No, that's perfect. It's so true. I think that's something so many people need to take away, and so many people have heard it, but they don't take it on board. Is exactly what you said, fail forward and learn from your failures and see that as the pathway that's helping you move forward. So, that was a big transition in my head where I, for so long, just got so caught up in all the negative things in my life and all the negative stuff and how that had negatively impacted my life. I didn't look at it as a lesson or something that's helped shape me who I am today. Like, I think if I hadn't gone through all this stuff, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. I wouldn't be doing all this stuff. I don't even know what I'd be doing. I'd probably be still lost floating in my career somewhere. So yeah, it's crucial and it's a pivotal point. So thanks for sharing, Josh. I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So, Josh, I'd love to find out what would be some of the best career advice you'd have for anyone. I know your industry is quite a diverse and quite a different sort of an industry that you're in, but for anyone looking to break into, brokerage or being able to, get into the industry that you're in, what would be some of the best advice that you feel you could share that you've learned over the years of doing so?
The power of curiosity is, I don't know I was kind of born with it. That's why I can't watch too many conspiracy videos because I dive in the wormhole. I'm curious. I have the thirst for knowledge. I want to know more. I want to find the problem. Like, I'm more comfortable dealing with problems than I am anything because problems allow you to ask questions.
Yep. So true.
So if you have a natural, curiosity about everything, then you could be a broker. What I'm doing isn't mindless. But the other thing too, though, it can be mindless at times, but you really have to be really curious and really care about what people's needs are and what they're wanting, because that's the only way that you're going to be good at doing this. But the other thing too, and I actually read this morning. In fact, I almost blogged about it. I'm trying to find it, but yeah, I gotta tell you, man, honesty, nothing works without honesty. And I can tell you from experience, it's weird how, it's usually when we're presented we're in a desperate situation, or we're in a desperate spot, that we're presented with a way out, but it's a dishonest way out. It's like the dishonest lifeline. And so many of us, we're all tempted. I think it's human nature to be tempted by it.
Yeah.
And most of the loss that I've ever experienced in my life has come in some form of being dishonest. In other words, maybe I'm putting on a charade. I'm not being authentic. That's dishonest. But I've watched it happen a lot recently too. Like I've been experiencing the other half of it. I think the universe or God is showing me what it feels like to have, misled or, done something. So, or being inauthentic. Yeah. I think I'm getting to see what that looks like firsthand now, because I've been through a lot of deals where the person I was working with wasn't honest, and watching what that can affect. But yet being honest, sometimes it paves what you would think or perceive as a harder path, but it's actually the easiest path. And you may hear no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, but maybe those weren't the right things anyway, because if you didn't do a good deal, you may have got paid up front, but what if it comes back in the form of a lawsuit later?
Yeah.
So integrity, being honest, not cheating, anyone on money, not cheating anyone in the deal, making sure everything's above board. Those things are extremely powerful, and most people don't talk about it.
No,
because it's really specifying, and I really honestly believe it's because a lot of people that are in a similar industry as us, people that are brand ambassadors, people that are promoting themselves on Facebook, people that are motivational speakers, so they're frauds. I'm not saying all. I'm just saying not many people talk about the truth, because if you're up on stage talking about the truth and you're not living the truth, oh man, you're playing with fire.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're putting yourself out there. You've got to be very careful about what you say, what you represent. So for me, I tell people, this is the other reason why it's so important for me to make sure my business and personal life are the same. Because if you just look at me in a business suit and watch how I carry myself, you're going to think I have never had a problem in my life. You're going to think that I'm the bee's knees and polished and all kinds of stuff, which I'm really not polished. But the truth is, and then if I something that comes out of my mouth where I talk about something that maybe is unsettling, if you don't know who I am, that won't make sense. But if you know who I am, because I'm representing who I am at all times, then it's like, yeah, okay, all right, this all makes sense now. Yeah. And I told you, I'm not smart enough to separate the two and keep them separated. I got to do it like this. So that's speaking from the heart. That's saying and speaking out against things that most people won't do. That's sticking my neck out there for things I believe in, especially my faith, or anything else. So yeah, anyway, long answer for truth.
Oh, wow. No, wow. I'm so honored to have had you on this interview. Like, you've just blown me away. Your insights are incredible. I think that's, it's so powerful. And I think being genuine and honest is the be all end all. Like, without that, without honesty and judgment as well. Like, I know you touched on that as well. I think that's so true. And I'm exactly the same. I don't separate the two. I know a lot of people can hide, their personal life and their emotions and stuff like that. I've never been like that. I don't know whether it's because I'm a Scorpio or anything like that, but I've never been able to hide who I am and hide my emotions. Like, what you see is what you get. This is how I am. If you don't like me, you don't understand me. So, I completely understand, Josh. I think that was powerful. And I genuinely believe this is probably one of the most insightful and powerful interviews I've ever had. Like, you nearly had me in tears before. I think, it's incredible what you've come through, man. You should be super, super proud of yourself.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, man. I really do. And I appreciate the opportunity to be on here, your show. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, I'd love to know, where would be the best place to get in contact with you? Say if anyone wanted to reach out to you, or needed some help building their brand, or getting a global reach and a global impact for their brand, where would be the best place to contact you?
Well, I'm easy to find on Facebook. So there's livemonoworldwide.com, and I'm at livemonoworldwide on Facebook. I love talking to people there. You can also reach out on my personal Facebook. I use it for business, Joshua T Berglan. But yeah, if you're interested in contacting me directly, my personal email address in business is livemana@icloud.com. That's LIVEMANA @icloud.com.
Perfect. That's brilliant, Josh. And as I said, man, I really appreciate your time. It's been such a powerful interview and shared some incredible insights to be able to help my audience and myself. I was like hanging off at every word you've been saying. It's been incredible, and I've got a lot of takeaways. And yeah, I guess it's opened up a lot of things in my life and made me reflect back on some things as well. So thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. I really am. I'm very grateful that you gave me this. This is my first podcast. So.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow. You did amazing, man.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever I can to help you get on a lot more. I mean, yeah, your message and your insights and your experience is something that definitely needs to be shared. So if anything I can do to help you, I'd love to, man.
Thank you. I'm very grateful, man. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Josh. And guys, stay tuned next week for another episode where we'll bring another incredible person who's going to help you push through those barriers in your career. So stay tuned then.